So, can a catchy K-pop song actually help you code a complete software application? I know, it sounds like an incredibly weird question, right? But today, we're going to look at a highly effective workflow that starts exactly there. Welcome to this explainer, where we are breaking down exactly how modern creators are leveraging technology to build incredibly fast. We're calling this one From K-pop to Code, the AI-powered SaaS workflow. We are going to break down a specific creator's exact process for building a paid software application literally from scratch without the traditional barriers of time or technical skill that used to hold people back. It's a totally fascinating ecosystem of tools, and we're going to unpack it piece by piece today. Okay, let's dive right into this framework. We've got 4 main steps to cover today: music for deep focus, learning with NotebookLM, vibe coding a SaaS, and finally, launching the community.
All right, step 1, music for deep focus. This is all about setting the psychological stage for productivity.
Now, you might be wondering where the K-pop comes in. Well, this creator starts their workflow in a surprisingly simple, environmental way by listening to a specific K-pop song on Spotify while they work on their business. The psychological concept at play here is called associative focus. Because, let's be honest, when you're trying to build a complex software business, the absolute hardest part is often just sitting down and overcoming that initial friction. The source highlights that whenever this creator works, they use this exact music to intentionally get into the zone. Over time, your brain actually begins wiring those specific audio cues to a state of deep concentration. So every single time you hear that track, it completely bypasses the usual procrastination and acts as a neurological trigger, putting you right back into a highly productive working mindset. It perfectly primes the brain for the heavy lifting ahead, rather than just relying on sheer willpower. Which brings us to step 2, learning with NotebookLM. This is where we talk about ingesting massive amounts of information instantly. Once you're in that focused zone, the very next step is rapidly gathering knowledge. A huge bottleneck in building literally any business is just the sheer volume of things you need to learn, right? Think about how incredibly dense a 50-page course PDF or an unstructured hour-long YouTube transcript can be. Historically, getting any real value out of those materials meant hours of tedious reading, manual note-taking, and organizing. But now, the creator simply takes all of this raw, unstructured data, PDFs, course materials, documents, YouTube transcripts, and feeds it directly into an AI tool called NotebookLM. It completely removes the friction of manual learning, giving the AI the exact raw materials it needs to build a highly customized knowledge base tailored entirely to your project. And this is where the magic actually happens. NotebookLM takes all that complex, disconnected info and actively synthesizes it into clear, easy-to-understand explanations. But it absolutely doesn't stop at just generating a plain text summary. You can turn that aggregated knowledge into dynamic, multimodal formats. We're talking animated explainer videos to visualize complex concepts. You can even generate incredibly realistic podcast-style audio where 2 AI hosts actively discuss and debate the core ideas from the documents you uploaded. You can even translate all these insights into whatever language you prefer. The AI is doing the absolute heaviest lifting when it comes to formatting and comprehension, perfectly setting you up for the next phase. Think about the massive conceptual shift in how we process information here. The old way meant spending hours upon hours watching long, drawn-out courses just to extract a handful of relevant concepts. It was incredibly slow, super inefficient, and honestly, it often left you too exhausted to actually do any real building. But the new way? The creator explicitly notes this has been a massive time saver. By instantly distilling key ideas from literally any file, they quickly understand exactly what they need to know. The true value of this new framework is that it completely reallocates your most precious resource, your time. It allows you to shift your limited energy away from merely absorbing information and focus entirely on actually applying those ideas to build something tangible. And that brilliantly illustrates our next step, Section 3, Vibe Coding a SaaS, using AI to execute ideas rapidly. Okay, so we have the deep focus, we have the rapidly simplified learning, and now we move directly into execution. This brings us to a cutting-edge concept known as vibe coding. Rather than writing out thousands of lines of traditional code manually, vibe coding involves writing plain English prompts to an AI, which then generates the underlying code base for you. You're essentially taking those detailed, simplified explanations you just got from NotebookLM and using them to formulate your exact prompts. You just describe what you want the app to do, the overall vibe and function of it, right? And the AI acts as your personal engineering team. The creator is using this exact synergy of synthesized knowledge and vibe coding to rapidly build out their very own software as a service application. And I really want you to notice this specific realization from the creator. Vibe coding lets you build these complex systems, even if you don't have a traditional programming background. Think about how radically empowering that is for an entrepreneur. The traditional barrier to entry for software development, spending years learning complex syntax, mastering frameworks, understanding heavy computer science theory, has essentially been shattered. You leverage the high-level strategies you learned in the previous step, and you simply instruct the AI to handle all the tedious technical execution. It completely changes who gets to be a software founder. Finally, we hit step 4, launching the community. This is where we turn that execution into a monetized business. Because building a functional app is an amazing feat, for sure. But a business still needs a destination and, more importantly, an audience. You can't just drop an app into the void. For this creator, that destination is their Skool community. You're placing this product into a targeted ecosystem of engaged users. The creator is currently finishing up this SaaS app specifically so they can launch it inside this platform. And there is a very high standard of excellence expected here. Because people in the community are going to actually pay for access to this app, it has to be absolutely top tier. But this is exactly where the synergy of the entire workflow shines. Because NotebookLM provided deep, expert-level knowledge and vibe coding handled the complex technical heavy lifting seamlessly, the creator can actually deliver a highly polished, professional-grade product that truly justifies a premium price tag, and they can do it all in a fraction of the usual time. Now, the true power of this framework is that it isn't locked behind some gate, it is entirely accessible to you. AI allows you to leverage this incredible capability right now to build a business faster than ever before. Whether you need to structure your business model from the ground up, build out a unique and compelling brand identity, choose the absolute best tech tools for your specific needs, or synthesize mountains of information to create a valuable course, this interconnected AI stack can get you there. In fact, the creator openly invites anyone who wants to learn how they're using these exact tools to build all of this to just send them a message for help. So let's pull back and look at the whole shebang. This beautifully illustrates the incredible synergy of this modern ecosystem. It is a complete 4-step machine where every single piece feeds seamlessly into the next. Step 1, focus. Using Spotify and K-pop music to trigger an associative productivity state in your brain, ensuring you start with maximum concentration. Step 2, learn. Feeding massive inputs into NotebookLM to rapidly digest and simplify complex information without wasting hours of your life taking manual notes. Step 3, execute. Taking that synthesized knowledge and using vibe coding to actually build the SaaS product in plain English, bypassing the need for a programming background entirely. And finally, step 4, monetize. Launching that highly polished AI-assisted product to a paying audience inside a dedicated Skool community. It is a brilliant, uninterrupted flow from simply putting on your headphones to generating a tangible, profitable business asset. We've seen how one creator turns a K-pop listening session into a fully coded, monetized software business simply by stacking the right tools. So now that AI has completely removed the traditional barriers of time and coding, what will you build? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some incredible ideas for your own workflow.